Hello students, I hope all of you are revising. Please start revising chemistry and biology. Okay students, so without wasting time we will continue with the class. Today we will start with a new chapter, that is diversity in living organisms. Okay, name any three characteristics of living organisms. Any one of you can name any three characteristics of living organisms. Very simple. First characteristic, that all the living organisms need food. Second, all the living organisms respire. Third, all the living organisms, they reproduce. Name any three groups of microorganisms. You all have studied about microorganisms in class 8, that is chapter 2. So any three groups, there are 5 groups actually. Name any 3 groups. First is bacteria, protozoa and viruses. Okay, children, diversity in living organisms, what does it mean? Biodiversity. Bio means living and diversity means different types. So biodiversity means different types of living organisms. Living organisms does not include only human beings, okay, or it does not include only animals, but it means large number of different type of living beings. It can be microorganisms, it can be small organisms, it can be big organisms. Okay, so biodiversity, children, it refers to the diverse or the varied form of living beings which differs from one another in external appearance, size, color, pattern, internal structure, nutrition, behavior, habitat. Okay, children, now currently there are 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms, all of which are different from one another. They range in size from microscopic bacteria, hardly a few micrometers in size, to blue whales, about 30 meters in length. Okay, so there are so many living organisms. And can you remember all these organisms? No, we cannot remember all these organisms. You can see the picture of biodiversity. Children, now the diversity shown among present-day living organisms is an outcome of past 3.5 billion years of organic evolution. Now, there are so many living organisms, so many, okay, and we cannot remember. So, with such a huge repository of organisms, it would be almost impossible to study each and every living form, especially separately. We cannot remember the characteristics of each of these organisms separately at an individual level. Okay, so in order to study the diversity among living organisms in an effective way, we need to arrange various kinds of organisms in an orderly or a systemic manner, just to make our study easy. Because if there are 1.3 or 1.4 millions of living organisms, that is impossible for us to remember each and every living organism. So what they are doing in order to make the study easy, what is done, they are arranged in groups. The organisms which have similar properties, they are arranged in groups and subgroups. Even if they are arranged in 2 major or 3 major groups, then also it is not possible. So in order to make the study easily, all the living organisms are arranged in the groups and the subgroups. Okay, so what is classification? Classification is the method of arranging organism into groups or sets on the basis of similarities and differences. I hope it is clear to everyone now. Okay. Now children, what are the properties of classification? It makes the study of the wide variety of organisms easy. Not easy, children, very easy. It projects before us the picture of all life forms at a glance. It is essential to understand the interrelationship among different groups of organisms. Okay, so if the organisms are classified, if so many organisms, they are arranged in groups and subgroups, so we know the properties of this group of organisms, we know the properties of different groups of organisms, and we can study the interrelationship, that how they are related to each other. I hope it is clear to everyone now nicely. So children, these are few terms which I am explaining you. So please pay attention, okay? Now children, this is the most important thing, okay? That is hierarchical classification, okay? Hierarchical classification. Now children, it is the system of grouping things according to the hierarchy or levels or orders or categories. At the very top is the kingdom, which is the broadest category, followed by phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Is it clear to all of you or no? So I told you, as I told you before also. What did I tell you before? I told you so many animals are there, they cannot be divided into one or two or three major groups. So first of all, the animals or the plants which have the, or you can say the living organism which have the similar properties are placed in two or three groups. Then again out of two or three groups, the animals which have the similar properties or the plants which have the similar properties are placed in subgroups. Then again in the subgroups, the plants or the animals which have the similar properties are placed in subgroups. So this thing is continued. Okay, so that is why classification is not to arrange so large number of living organisms into one or two groups, but into groups and the subgroups. As you can see here also, there are so many subgroups, kingdom, which we say order, which we say level also. So kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So they all are the different category. Kingdom is one category, then is the phylum, then is class, then is order, family, genus and species. They are the different categories, and each of this category is called as taxa. Kingdom is one taxa, phylum another taxa, class another taxa. So there are 7 taxa. Is it clear? Now children, kingdom, okay, kingdom is the broadest category, okay, and species is the smallest category. And in case of plants, the phylum is replaced by division. Here it is, after kingdom is phylum, but in case of plants it is kingdom and then it comes division, and rest all the things are same. In animals and plants, but in both animals and plants, the lowest category is species and the highest is kingdom. Only the difference is this, that in animals it is phylum and in plants it is division. I hope it is clear to everyone nicely. So these are the, now the, like suppose you can see the so many living organisms are there. So first of all, kingdom, they are divided into 2 or 3 major kingdoms, like animal kingdom, plant kingdom. Now among animals kingdom also, some of the animals will have same properties, then they are placed in the phylum. Among phylums, they are placed in different phylums. Then in different phylums, some of the animals will have same properties, then they are placed in the lower category. Understood? Then they are placed in class. In the class again same properties some of the animals will have, then they are placed in order. Okay, now you can see in this picture also. Now in the kingdom there are so many animals. Okay, so all these animals have 1 or 2 same properties. Okay, so they are placed in a kingdom. Now in kingdom also there are certain animals which will have the same properties, they are placed in phylum. Now in phylum there must be animals which will have same property, they are placed in class. Animals in class, which is having similar properties placed in order. Animals in the order which have the same property are placed in family. Family, it is placed in genus and the species. I hope it is clear to you now nicely. Okay, children, another thing I would like to tell you. Like, I will give you one simple example. Okay, like if you go to the grocery shop and you want to buy a bathing soap, you want to buy a soap, okay, for bathing. So what you will do? You will go to that column, you will go to that place where all the soaps are arranged and you will find it. But in the grocery shop, if all the things are mixed, all the things which are, then how you will find? You will have to waste 1 or 2 hours and plus energy also, and it will be very difficult for you to find the bathing soap. So what is done in the grocery shops? There are different columns for different things. Now, for all the bathing soap that is placed in one column, you can say that is the broadest category. Let us say that is the kingdom. Now, there are so many bathing soaps. Okay, now there are some soaps, I mean to say all the bathing soaps are placed in one corner or in one column. Now, out of so many bathing soaps, some of the soaps are used for bathing, some of the soaps are used for washing dishes, some are used for washing clothes, and some are used for cleaning floor. So, how they are done, how it is done? So, these soaps must be having 1 or 2 same properties, and then these soaps are placed into different groups. Like one group will be of the soaps which is used for washing clothes, one group will be of the soaps used for cleaning vessels, one group soap which is used for bathing, one which is used for cleaning floor. So they are placed in again the subgroups, the soaps, they are placed in subgroups. Again in the subgroups you will see, if you select the soaps which are used for bathing, there must be so many bathing soaps, Lidl soap, your Lux soap, so many soaps must be there, different types of soap. Even the soaps which is used for washing vessels or cleaning vessels must be of many types. There must be Bimba, there must be Pril, there must be this, there must be that. So what is happening here? So many things are there in the grocery shop, and it is difficult to remember and search anything which you want. Then what is happening there? They are arranged in different columns, and again in the different columns, again the things are arranged in sub columns. So that is the same thing which happens in classification. So I told you what is a taxa. Okay, each category is called as a taxa. Now the taxa used in the classification of plants and animals are as follows. Species. Children, species is the basic unit of understanding taxonomy. Species is the group of individuals which have similar morphological features and which are able to interbreed among themselves to produce fertile offspring. Okay, they are able to, one of the major thing in species is that they are able to interbreed, they are able to reproduce, they are able to interbreed, and they produce the offspring. Okay, or a progeny which is fertile. Fertile means they are also able to reproduce when they are made to interbreed among themselves. Like here you can see this example. This is a species A, toad. Both of them are toad. This is species B, frog. Okay, now this toad, they are similar, exactly similar, and they can interbreed among themselves. Okay, they can reproduce among themselves, and they can produce a baby or a toad. A small young one is called as an offspring. So they can produce a offspring, toad offspring you can see here, and here this frog is exactly similar. They can interbreed among themselves and they can produce a young one which is called as a frog offspring. Young one is actually called as offspring. So this is a frog offspring. And if this frog offspring is made to interbreed with the frog only of the same species, then again they can interbreed and produce a fertile offspring. Okay, but this toad and this frog, they cannot interbreed, and if they are made to interbreed, they will produce a offspring, but this offspring will be fertile. Okay, so the main important thing in species is that they can interbreed and they produce the fertile offspring. Then we come to genus. Genus is a group of organisms which are related but have less similar characters as compared to species. Species, here also you can see in the example of frog and toad, almost all the characters are same. Okay, but in genus, what happens? As you go higher up, from the lower level, from the species to kingdom, the similarity in the character decreases. And when you come from kingdom to species, the similarity in the character increases. So we are going higher up. So second higher this category or the taxa is genus. So it's a group of organisms which are related but have less similar characters compared to species. Members of genus have identical reproductive organs. Then we go to family. Family, now we are going from species to higher order. So species, most of the characters, I will say almost all the characters are similar in species. But when we are going to genus, some of the characters are similar. More higher family, less characters are similar. So what is a family? It is represented by a group of related genus. The genus which are closely related to each other, they are put in a family. Like cat and lion. Cat belongs to another genus, lion belongs to another genus. But cat and lion, they look similar. Most of the properties of both the animals which belong to different genus is same. So they are placed in a family, Felidae. Okay, students, so we will do till here only, but please go through the slides. These things are not given in detail in your book, okay, in your NCERT book. So please revise it, okay. Thank you, students.